Hey YouTube, it's EA again. I'm back with more quarantine love for you this morning. So, quarantine teaching tip number 2, play games. Play games with your children. Play games and just play with them. Playing games can reveal several things about your children. They can reveal your children's strengths, they can reveal weaknesses, they can tell you if your children naturally endure or if they give up easily. So, when you play games with your children, it's kind of like you can do an assessment so that you can know where to go from here to build any um, weaknesses into strengths and to help them build their skill set. So you can use any games to do this. You can use outdoor games like hopscotch, playing catch, playing kickball, just any of the outdoor games to see how your children fare as it comes to strengths and weaknesses. You can play indoor games. You can do like board games, you can do puzzles, word searches, just all of the games that you can think of will help you assess your children and help you to know where to build. Games like checkers and dominoes and chess are really good. But let's say you don't have a lot of games and you need to make up your own. You can make up your own games. So while I was teaching and being a parent, I did several of these games that I'm going to share with you at home and at school. So I'm going to start off with telling you a story about one of my uncles. I had an uncle named Uncle Terry, and he used to do the word searches all the time. So he noticed that every time I came in, I kind of stared at him because I really wanted to do it or at least tell him where I saw a word. So one day he just ripped out a sheet and he said, "Hey girl, let me see what you can do." So I did the little word search. He was like, "You pretty good." So from that day forth, he challenged me on time. So whenever I would come over, he'd be like, "You want to play?" And then I'd be like, "Yeah." He'd give me a sheet out of his book, and then he would set the timer. And of course, the first person would win. Well, I lost a lot at first. And then I started to make gains and I closed in on him. And I noticed too that it helped me to be able to read words a little faster. So it helped me as I was reading as well. So that's a good one to do. Something that I do that I did with my own children and children in the classroom. This is centered around math. We played a game called What Makes 100. So you literally can make a hundreds chart to start. And you tell them we're going to play a game and all numbers have to add up to 100. So you can start off with what they know. Most of us teach our children how to count by ones, then twos, then fives, then tens. So you can start there. So if you said 5, then they would have to say 85. If you said 20, they would have to say 80. And like that. So you continue to build those skills. First, you let them watch them and pick the numbers, and then they do it from the dome. Now, what that helps with is counting back change. So they'll know how to count back change, and they'll know whether or not somebody counted their change back correctly. So the second phase of that for my children at home was whenever we go to the store and I pay with cash, if they can beat the register in telling me what the change is going to be, they get to keep it. At first, children pout because they don't want to lose, but then something in their spirit quickens and they accept the challenge and they will beat you out of all of your money if you're not careful. I went to the store one time and I had $100 bill, and I did that with one of my sons, and he guessed the change, and yeah, it was a bad day. But I made him use the money. He won $93 from me and some change, but I made him buy like socks and underwear and things that he needed. So I kind of controlled the dialogue. But it's fun. It'll keep them on their toes, and it definitely keep you on your toes. Um, Another game that I played at school is called the pizza walk. Whenever I wanted to teach words, I would use children in pairs, and I'd write all of the sight words all over the floor in the shapes of little pizzas. I just made the pizzas, and then I would pair them up. I paired them up with the children who already knew the words from the Dolch word list with children who didn't. And once everybody got their partner and they did walkthroughs and they practiced, we ended up landing on a pizza. So when all the students could get to the pizza, we had a big pizza party. Well, you can do that at home too. You can do it with words and you can do it with the value system. I've tried it with the value system where I wrote down, let's take for example, the principles of Kwanzaa. They're called the Nguzu Saba. So there are 7 principles that we really need in our lives that can help us. And so I did it with the principles as well. And once you get to the understanding of what the principles are and what they mean, and you can give examples, you can celebrate with a pizza party. And you can do this with ice cream. You can do it with anything. It doesn't have to be pizza, but it is very fun and challenging for the children to do. You can do indoor scavenger hunts where you give hints for your children to lead up and find something. You can make them rhyme or you can just write out simple instructions. It teaches them how to follow directions too. You can play the rhyming games. You can do the hand jive and make up your own sayings for the hand jive. I know we had a lot of songs when we were little. So you can, if you can recall those, teach your children how to do the hand jive, how to do the, the hand jive. They do the slides, play those kind of games. Play concentration. We used to do this a lot in class. Concentration. Are you ready? Let's begin. And then you pick categories. So you're doing cars, and you can do Jaguars and BMWs and, that good stuff. But you can pick your own categories with your children. That's a fun game to play. You can also read stories and then act them out. And then maybe on the second time, you just let your children make up a story and tell you and teach you how to act out their stories. You can do lip sync. You can have little contests where you're doing karaoke and you're singing and dancing and just having fun, and it'll teach you a lot about your children. And you can make up various contests, like daily contests. I know I used to do one. I would take a math problem and I would put it on my refrigerator, a very difficult math problem. And I told my children, you can use everything except for me. And on Friday, whoever has the answer has the prize. So that worked out for my children. But you can also use your technology to look up games. And once you get your flow, I've said this before, but once you get your flow, you can make up your own games. For little children, you can use shaving cream and spread it out on the table and let them write words, or y'all can have real quick adding contests, or who can write to 10 the fastest. You can sing songs, play, dance, rap. Just make sure that you are having fun with your children. Again, this is the Quarantine Queen with teaching tip number 2, play games with your children. Build those skills, love on those children, make them a lot smarter. By the time they get ready to go back to school, they will definitely be ready for us, and we will be ready for them. Thank you so much for listening. Again, please push that like and subscribe button. Drop me some comments below, and please continue to share my videos. Thank you so much. Peace. Have a good one.